Welcome back. We are coming up on the 5th anniversary of a mass shooting in Sutherland Springs, Texas. More than 24 people were killed, more than 24 injured in that shooting. It's also prompted a lawsuit that the Department of Justice is now getting involved in appealing, and lawyers representing the victims say it could prevent reforms when it comes to cases just like this. One of the attorneys in the case is Jamal Alsaffar. He's up late with me tonight on the Final Five. Jamal, explain to me what happened here. The perpetrator, a man by the name of Devin Kelly, was associated with the Air Force, and that seems to be the genesis of this case here.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Jim. Yes, so what happened here is on November 5th, 2017, the shooter, a former Air Force member, walked into this small one stoplight town in Sutherland Springs, Texas, and wiped out 26 parishioners in this small church and severely, permanently injured 22 others. And the reason why the federal government was held liable in this case was because the shooter was very well known to them as an extremely violent individual. They convicted him when he was in the Air Force of beating his wife and beating a 1-year-old child, fracturing their skull, and using a gun to commit these acts of domestic violence. And they prosecuted him, convicted him of these 2 felonies. And the federal law at the time, and that's still applicable today, requires that the federal government and all law enforcement report those federal crimes to the FBI federal background check system. Now, why is that important? Because that system is responsible for ensuring that known criminals, violent felons like this shooter was, do not ever get access to weapons. The Air Force in this case, the law enforcement agencies there, failed on dozens of separate occasions to report his convictions. So this shooter was able to walk in free and clear, unbeknownst to law enforcement, unbeknownst to any gun seller, walk in a store, buy an AR-15, other weapons, and thousands of rounds of ammunition that he should not have been able to provide and that he used in this shooting to kill all these people.
A judge in the case found the Air Force was 60% responsible. The judgment was about $230 million here. The appeal came down. In a case like this, you know, we unfortunately, we've talked about so many mass shootings in this country on this show, but when you look at this, is this about, I guess the point is most cases we see go back to gun control and gun legislation. This seems to be more so about how it's being dealt with on the federal level and within the military.
Well, that's a great question, because I think this case, which is the worst church shooting in the history of America and one of the worst mass shootings ever, what's very important about this case and where the Department of Justice is right now in filing this appeal is that this case represents something that almost all of us agree on, and that our reporting and making sure that known convicted felons of violent crimes don't get guns is something almost 90% of the American people agree on. But what's more important for everyone seeing this, and in this case in particular, is that in order for the government to win on appeal, they have to actually argue 2 things. One is worse than the other, but the first one, that these background check systems don't work and wouldn't have prevented this mass shooting, because the court found that had they done it, it would have prevented it. But what's worse is if they also have to argue that even if they do work, we, the federal government, and all of our law enforcement agencies don't have to follow that mandatory federal law. We don't have to report it, and we don't have to be held we cannot be held accountable for not doing it. And that is even more dangerous. And that is certainly not a position the Department of Justice should be taking, which is, by the way, in direct contradiction to the president's position on gun safety. So it's not really about gun control. It's about keeping guns out of people who are committed dangerous felonies, which we can all agree to.
So this system here, this background system, it doesn't matter whether it's a small town, a small police department, or the military here. This is a system that all this information should be shared. And what you're saying is, and what has been proven in this case, it just didn't work. It was not being shared in the first place.
It wasn't being shared. Our argument was all along, and this is the judge put this in the verdict, was these systems work if implemented. But the problem is the Air Force. Here's what's shocking. The Air Force was not following this law, federal law, reporting convicts for 30 straight years, and they were being told about it for 30 straight years, and they never fixed it. They were failing at a almost 50% clip. And what that means is that for the last 30 years, our federal government has not been reporting 1 out of every 2 convicts to the background check system. So you're talking about tens and tens and maybe even hundreds of thousands of dangerous felons who've been able to go free and clear and get guns wherever they wanted to. We stopped that because of this lawsuit and these families. They fixed that. They totally redid the entire program from top to bottom the way our experts testified they should be done. And so now to argue on appeal that, well, we don't think those things really work, or even if they do, we don't have to follow it, is really terrible.
Jamal, we're going to be watching this case, no doubt about that. You know, unfortunately, one of many mass shooting cases, but this one clearly, you know, you still have many lives lost here and in a place of worship, but clearly something that has to be addressed. Jamal Alsaffar, we got to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Jim.
And the Final Five is back right after this.